Welcome to this week's episode of Listen to Your Coaches. I'm your coach, Mike Wilkins, here with Coach Will Morrill, and we are lacking a young Max Gerald today because we did not think we were going to have time to record.
Yeah.
No, we had a staff meeting down at Stout PGH that took place during the typical time of recording, but we were able to slide out just in the nick of time to pump a fast one out, so that way we keep this trainer rolling.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, Will, what do we want to talk about today?
Let's see. What's first on the list? Oh, we could talk about what we did this past weekend.
So, this past weekend, hopefully a lot of you guys know, we did a fight companion in conjunction with the Fight Life Unfiltered, which is Justin Jones and Lucas Siebert's podcast. And I had a great time. What did you feel about it?
Dude, I also had a great time. Ton of fun. Awesome setup.
Awesome setup. Yeah, so we went over to Justin's house, had some drinks, some pizza, some chips. Yeah, we just had a really good time. Max did a terrific job, like straight up grinding the producer desk.
Dude, killing it.
Dude, I was watching Max work a lot, and I was like, yeah.
Dude,
I was like, Max is like
answering questions, hitting, all the tech stuff he had to do.
Right. Yeah. I was really, really impressed. I was really impressed with the setup, and really, Justin for being such a gracious host.
Speaking of Justin, real quick, we got to shout him out. Justin gave us these awesome lighters. I don't know
That's
if you
right.
See, this got a samurai on it. I'm big into samurai stuff. Big fan of Musashi and such. So
you know it.
Where is that? Somewhere around here. Doesn't
Somewhere
matter.
in here.
But
yeah. Speaking of Justin and Lucas, this is a direct announcement to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh crap! Here they go. All of the marbles, baby. Oh man, we're losing some out of the bag, but it's okay. So it's a little inside joke for Justin and Lucas, and a reference to Mario Kart. But here they are.
Did we explain it on the podcast or no? Was that before?
We talked about it on the live.
Or
maybe not. All right, so you know what? You guys are probably like, why would we not just tell you guys? Ignore that.
Yeah. So what are all the marbles, Mike?
Okay, so here goes the deal. Back in the day, Will and I used to pick Will up in the morning, bring him down the gym. He would train us, put us through a lift, put us through some, boxing work, stuff like that. Then we would teach our respective noon classes. Then we would go out to lunch, kind of be D-gens for a while, come back, and then teach the night classes and do our night training. After a while, we were both broke and tired. We were like, yo, we're spending an exorbitant amount of money every day at lunch. So we're like, we got to cut it out. So Will was like, yo, let's go to Woolies. We would grab a steak and we would grab a salad and we'd go back to Will's crib and we would make steak salads. And then we would play Mario Kart on N64, specifically the Mushroom Cup, for 4 hours straight. And we got really good and we were very serious about it. And occasionally we'd have some bros nights, right? And CPG would come over, BK. Well, CPG and BK lived with you, so they didn't come over. They just would be home.
Yeah.
And Locke would come over,
yep.
And we would play Mario Kart. And it didn't matter who did the best that night, who won the most races. It was whoever won the last race had all the marbles. And then you had them, and you defended them. So, if CPG had all the marbles, we couldn't on Monday when it's just me and him. Neither of us can get these marbles because Chris has them. So one day we had a bros night and I bought these.
Before that, they were figurative.
It was
like,
figurative.
Oh, you got all the marbles. And then one night, Mike's like, all right, boys, check it out. And he gave this awesome speech. And then he pulls it out and he's like, and it's for all the marbles.
Yep, pulled it out of a backpack, Rampage chained up with marbles hanging from it. So yeah, that's all the marbles. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so back to the fight companion. Everything was great. We can talk a little bit about the fights, but I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the actual broadcast in itself.
Oh.
I was blown away by the broadcast. So we went live both from our Twitter/X account and the Fight Life's Twitter/X account. That's what we broadcasted from, and going in, I was like, yeah, I bet you we because you're not going to hold everybody for the entire 4 or 5 hour broadcast. I was like, I bet you I would have guessed our max would have been 50 viewers at a single time. We'll see it hit 50, right? But I would say that we would hold an average of 10 to 18, somewhere in there. That was my pre-show prediction.
Yeah.
Your pre-show prediction was you have no expectations.
No idea.
You were the only one. And I said, I asked everybody who was there, and it was crazy. Everybody was like, yeah, like, basically had the same exact numbers. They're like, yeah, probably like 40, 50. We'll have like, 15 people solid, right? We broke 800, and we held over 600 solid viewers. And I was like, bro, dude, I don't even know that many people, right? So it begs the question, were these real people? Like, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, I don't think these were real people.
Well, you called me and you made a really good point. You were like, hey, we had, like, how many followers, what are they called, followers or
followers
friends or whatever, on X do we have? Like 25 or
25.
something?
We got like 25.
So it's like, where are these people coming from? So the question is, and actually someone who probably knows about like how technology or, social media algorithms work, you guys can let us know. But like, is there something that like promotes live stuff? Or
well, I know it shows up on the top, and I'm sure, like, unfortunately, we don't have Max on today's episode due to not thinking we were going to do it. And he probably knows like some like maybe hashtagging or like grouping that it gets put in
because it's about the UFC and the UFC's happening at that time.
Yeah, so like, I'm sure there's something of that, because I know when I was live tweeting the one event, I think I live tweeted UFC 310. I was getting crazy engagement in comparison to the audience that organically it would reach because I was hashtagging UFC 310.
So
like I would not hashtag, and that tweet or X post would get like 11 views. And then I would hashtag it, and that post would get like 6,000 in minutes.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
So let me ask you this then. So we went in with 25 followers.
No, I would say we went in with like, so here's why I'm like, were these bots, right? So we held 600, which is like that number blows my mind, right? I'm like, that's a lot of people just to watch us watch fights for 4 hours, and that was like what we were averaging that much.
Yeah.
At one point in time, like our peak was 800, right? We currently, like, we went in with like, let's say 20 followers, and we left with like 28 followers. And I'm like, so 800 people.
We're like,
and it's not, but here goes the thing. It could have been like, we could have had like 2,000 people watching, but like, like some people pop in and then they leave, and some people pop in and leave.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
like at one single moment in time, we broke 800. That means there were 800 people physically watching for that second in time. And we carried an average of 600, like people coming and going, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that means thousands of people saw us.
Thousands of people saw us.
Not following them.
Yeah. And like 4 were like, yeah, I'll throw you a bone. And you know what? What's funny about that? The 4 who were like, yeah, I'll throw you a bone. I know them all personally. I'm going to see 3 of them tonight when I teach in Zealy. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's hilarious.
So yeah, I start like questioning, but you know what? I'm not trying to let it bring down. Like I was just like, it just made me feel good. Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Yeah, so it made me feel good. I had a really good time. The fights were great.
Yeah.
I was a little sad at the Umar Nurmagomedov fight, but it is what it is.
I like Merab too.
I like Merab too, but yeah. I mean, I do like Merab. Whatever. Yeah, the fights were good.
Should we run through them real quick and just like 1 or 2 sentences thoughts on them?
Yeah, let's just run through them. So like for prelims, Grant Dawson stood out to me.
Yeah.
Obviously. Peyton Talbot stood out to me for bad reasons.
Real quick on Peyton Talbot, I'm seeing some people are like, oh, he's a fraud and whatever. It's like, I'm not going that far. I think that he's got to work on his takedown defense for sure.
I think he was just prematurely overhyped, which is like,
it's not his fault either.
Who cares? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not like down on him or whatever, but like I expected more out of him based off of the betting odds, him being like the biggest favorite on the card. Anything else prelims stood out to you?
Not that I can remember.
The Tagir and Clayton Carpenter fight was a good fight, man. Flyweights, just like there's no reason to miss a flyweight fight. Flyweight fights, they're for the people.
You turn your mic off?
Oh no, it's on. It's on. I just had like a oh my god, did I?
Yeah.
So yeah, flyweights are for the people. So that's the prelims. What do you got? Anything
I can't think of anything else on prelims that was that important.
Yeah, okay, so then we're going to main card. Renee de Ritter, RDR,
brother,
came out, smash, put me on top of you and Max, because I know you both took Kevin Holland.
So do you think how much of it was de Ritter doing really well, and how much of it was Holland just like not performing well?
I mean, it's a slight element of both, but all credit to the victor,
Yeah.
Rene Ritter.
Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
impressed with him. When he came
Dude,
into
he's
UFC,
got 2 subs. He submitted Gerald Mearshart, who is super good on the ground.
Dude, Mearshart's one of those guys where, like, if you just look at his record, or like a lot of casuals probably only know him because
Yeah.
he got knocked out by Hamzat. Like, people be like, "Oh, he's like not that good," but he is that good.
He's super good. He is that good. That's just nonsense to hear that. I would say off the cuff, and like we'll probably talk heavier about this on when we have Max in, like ripping it down next week. But Rene Ritter, I want to see him versus, oh my gosh, not Gerald Mearshart because he just fought him. Oh, Paul Craig.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like that's a good grappling matchup. So that's cool. The next fight was at Almeida, Jelson Almeida.
Jelton Almeida and Sergey Spivak. I
Yeah,
believe
Sergey
so.
Spivak. Almeida with his 21st finish and 22 victories.
Yeah, very impressive.
Really incredible. I have nothing else to add to that.
That's it. Yeah, he's one of those dudes where like I think that he's gonna get to a really good position in the heavyweight division and kind of hang out there.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say it, especially if you guys saw the live stream. You know my thoughts on this, but I think he'll turn into kind of a. Actually, no. I was gonna say he'd turn into a Derek Lewis, but Derek Lewis had title shots and stuff. I don't know if he's gonna make it to that level, but
Yeah, I don't think he'd.
But he's very exciting to watch.
Yeah, liked it. Then we had Jury versus Jamal in a fight that I hated. Like, I didn't enjoy it. You were loving it.
I very much
We
enjoyed
were very
it.
much opposed.
Yeah, so
while watching that fight.
One, it was like a sloppy back and forth, like, kind of brawl, which, generally I don't love those, but like they're fun, you know what I mean? Like think about, I'm going to give you an old school throwback. Leonard Garcia against the Korean Zombie.
Oh my God,
right?
that was a banger though.
Banger fight, but like if you
That
watched
fight was way better than this fight.
Right, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, if you watch it from a technical perspective, right? If you were like showing like a kid who was like, "Oh, I want to learn about martial arts. Like, should I be doing what they're doing?" You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, "No, let's not watch this fight." But it's fun. That's kind of how I felt about like that fight. Yeah. Some knockdowns, and also surprised by Jiri moving his head. First time we've seen that. He like seemed like he didn't want to get hit, so that's cool.
There's that.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we got.
I mean, that's all I got. Co-main, as we talked about, like I had real high hopes for Umar. I think he's still an incredibly talented fighter. Really impressed by Merab. A special congratulations to him for breaking GSP's takedown record.
Yeah, unreal.
I'm a takedown loving guy, so I gotta really respect that and admire it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's why. I mean, he won the fight.
So, well, two things then. One, I think like people who thought Umar was going to win, like us, like he proved us kind of right in a way with those first 2 rounds, where it's like, oh, he's definitely got what it takes.
Yeah.
It's just, can it be sustained? The other thing is, when did he break his hand? I saw 2 different posts. One saying last round, one saying first round.
Yeah, I saw the only one I saw was first round. Even with that, it's just part of it, and obviously that's going to play a big impact. The only thing that should do is give you hope for him in a rematch. If he can win, he does. And I mean, like, I don't think many other people are going to beat him, so I do think he will rise to a title fight. And I thought it was an entertaining fight.
Dude, I thought it was entertaining. The other thing is, I thought it was super close. Okay.
It was close.
So I know the one scorecard had 4 rounds to 1. I
that
completely disagree
was
with that.
Crazy. And then the other 2 had 3-2.
I think that it's 100% first 2 rounds go to Umar.
Yeah.
Last 2 rounds go to Merab.
That's what I had. And
No.
the third round was like wavy.
Third round, first off, maybe I wasn't paying the most attention. Also,
I would say third round I went Umar, but I would say that like I was wearing some rose-colored like in the moment. It's also the co-main event. We did a shot right before it.
I was gonna say I was wearing some
like,
Corona-colored glasses, dude.
Yeah, bro. I was like, we were pretty boozed up by that point in time. So,
which, speaking of that, dude, you're super impressive. We were talking, what's today, Monday? Yeah, we were talking yesterday on the phone, and you're out like running around, taking care of your kids. Like,
I ran a wrestling practice for 4-year-olds,
doing
I
stuff.
put Claire and Erica through a private lesson.
Bro,
I was grinding yesterday. It was at Target.
I could barely move.
Yeah, dude.
I was done for.
Oh, and I came off of like 2 hours of sleep because when I got home, we got home about 3 a.m. and I felt guilty because I was like, I'm just out here having fun with my friends, and Katie's got to take care of these kids, and like that's pretty much happens all the time. I'm just out having fun with my friends, and I'm like, oh man. And Ivy woke up through the middle of the night, and I was like, I got it, right? Because like I just was feeling guilty. So like I was up for a little bit then, and then Katie eventually came out and was like, you can go to bed. But we didn't have the greatest night. So I had like 2 hours, 45 minutes of sleep. Just kept it moving.
Dude, I don't know. I got to get in better drinking shape or something because
I know Lucas was training too. Lucas wouldn't train at the match.
Well, he's in his 20s, so that
it doesn't count. All right, and then main event. I mean, dude, Islam just looks amazing as always. Props to Renato Moicano for taking that opportunity, and trying his best.
Dude, to be honest, I was kind of impressed with some of the like early striking.
The early striking pressure.
Like positionally, not that he like did a whole lot with it, but kind of went exactly how I imagined. And I'm a big fan of anyone who's finishing fights with Darces. So,
Yeah. Well, that's our brief thoughts.
Last thing about that. Did you see they said Sarukian does not
does not get him. Yeah, he's got to work his way up. So I saw Sarukian responded as in I agree.
What are your thoughts on that, and who do you think he fights?
Well, here's the thing. So here goes. I know Islam. I mean, he just fought, so he probably shouldn't fight till the summer anyhow. Mm-hmm. Ramadan's coming up. I think that's like February, so like that wouldn't really interfere with the fight camp, since he shouldn't probably be fighting till the summer anyhow. See, I kind of wish they would just do it, because I think like if Islam wins that fight, then he can move up, like, and there's like nothing to say about it, because I think Islam wins, but I am very
it's an interesting fight
in that fight.
Yeah,
so I would like to see that, but so maybe there's time for Sarukian to fight to rematch Charles Oliveira in a 5-rounder. That's what he said. Sarukian was like, I agree. I should earn my way back. How about me and Charles Oliveira in a 5-rounder? That makes sense. I'm like, okay, that's fine. If that's what they want to do.
Right.
If that's what they're doing, that's fine. So that is what it is.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. So, that wraps up the Fight Companion in a nutshell. But there is one thing that was announced on that broadcast, and it was the next UFC Fight Pass Invitational, which is the UFC's jiu-jitsu organization, and they announced a headlining match, which is the biggest match you can make in women's jiu-jitsu right now: Ffion Davies versus Adele Fornarino on the UFC Fight Pass Invitational, March 6th. That's a Thursday night. That's going to be a big... I'm sure they're going to stack that card up, but that match itself could run so low, and it's going to pull, in the jiu-jitsu community, that is going to pull huge numbers.
So give us the quick backstory on the
quick backstory. So Ffion, 2022 ADCC champion. She's also a no-gi world champion and a gi world champion. She's considered the pound-for-pound #1 women's jiu-jitsu fighter in the world. No-gi. Then you have Adele Fornarino.
Hold on, you skipped over one of her most impressive...
so she didn't do ADCC this year, right? She opted out due to the pay discrepancy, and she did the CJI. She did a super fight against Mackenzie Dern, and she smoked Mackenzie Dern, who is a former jiu-jitsu legend, but is definitely focused on MMA at the moment. So Adele, she goes by the moniker Daddy, right? She is the who's #1 Flow Grappling's pro thing, 115-pound champion. I need you to remember that.
Okay.
The 115-pound champion. She also, in 2024, won the ADCC 55-kilogram division, which is 121 pounds. So she can make 115 easy. She won at 121 pounds, ADCC 2024. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Right? You know what's crazier? She won the absolute. She won the open weight. Yeah. So of all weight classes, the smallest woman, she won it. She won the whole
wild.
thing. Yeah. She went 6-0 at ADCCs, because at ADCC they only run 8 women per bracket,
right,
whereas they do 16 men per bracket. So yeah, she went 6-0, multiple subs. So the match is like, hey, would she have done that if Ffion was there, right? And now we get to
Find
see
out.
it, and it's the match everybody wants to see. So that's really cool. So really excited for that match, and that is March 6th.
One more question about jiu-jitsu. So I know that they were talking about potentially Craig running ADCC in the future. What about ADCC and or CJI and the UFC, what they're doing?
All right, so though I don't know, but from what I've been like reading off of the internet, is the UFC is pulling people into exclusive contracts, as you would imagine they would. and those people likely will not be able to participate in the ADCC or the CJI without some type of cooperation thing. So unless like maybe the CJI or the ADCC come to UFC Fight Pass for the broadcasting, some of these people who are being put into exclusive contracts, we might not get them. As of now, the only person that I know is in an exclusive contract is Mikey Musumeci. I do not know that either of these women have entered into an exclusive contract, and I haven't heard for sure of anybody else yet. So with that being said, that could, like, good, bad, pros, cons. There's other things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Did that answer your question?
Sure did.
Okay. I started questioning while I was rambling if I was answering the question.
No, that's exactly what I needed to know for the time. We're going to see how everything plays out now.
Yeah. All right, so let me take a pivot off of this, but staying in the same lane in women's combat sports. Huge announcement this week. It was voted on successfully that the NCAA will now sponsor Division I women's wrestling. All right. So up until this point, you might be like, Mike, I thought there was women's wrestling in college, and there was, but it was sponsored by the NWCA. So they didn't have an NCAA championship, right? So what you saw was schools like Iowa, who's a Power 4 school, the 4 big conferences, wrestling Division III schools. You know what I mean? And NAI, or maybe not NAI schools, but whatever, lower division schools and stuff. Now with the support of the NCAA and it being an official sport, which will officially have an NCAA championship, what that does is that will promote more programs to pop up in these larger schools, okay? What we're seeing with that is obviously more opportunity for women's wrestling, which is very important. And in addition to that opportunity, now these women have more school choices too. So here goes for an example, something that was brought up on a podcast, Bash in the Brain, that I listened to, that is a wrestling podcast, as you would imagine. Willie, he was saying, he was like, yeah, like look at like if you're like, a male wrestler, right, and you're of a certain credential, right, you have the choice, right? You can go to like Princeton, Harvard, Michigan, North Carolina, like some really good schools,
Cornell,
and you don't
Penn
have to
State.
choose between your sport and the academics, right? Like, or there's more options to pair your sport with the academics that align with your goals.
Right.
That doesn't exist for women's wrestling right now. Now you're kind of like, oh, I want to go Ivy League. Well, then you're not wrestling anymore,
Right.
type of thing, right? It's like, okay, well, I want to still wrestle. Okay, well, now you have to go, and I'm not disparaging any of these colleges, but to like maybe a lesser than institution than what you would think of when you're thinking of your blue bloods. So this will likely open up those opportunities and continue to grow women's wrestling, which is one of the fastest growing sports. And I believe the vote came down on D2 and D3. And I had not heard the results, but I feel like I saw that it passed, but I'm not sure on that, so I don't want to stamp it. But D1 is passed, and that's huge.
Big
right?
step in the right direction.
Yeah. A lot of credit on this to Wrestle Like a Girl, which is a foundation to get women's and girls wrestling sanctioned in different states and colleges and things like that, and promote the sport. Especially a shout out to Sally Roberts, who runs that organization. I've got to meet Sally on a handful of occasions. She's always incredibly positive. She calls it toxic positivity, right? Yeah, and she's great. She's the sweetest ever. Herself, she was a 2-time world's bronze medalist, so she can scrap herself very well, and she has just done so much to grow the sport of women's wrestling, which is super important to me. I made some posts this week about how I think wrestling has made a huge impact on my life and the life of several people around me, several people around you. Like, look how many people we work with who, how are they there? Oh, it's because of wrestling, being the foothold. And you hear of so many wrestlers who are good in business, like, why are you this and that? Oh, it was something that wrestling taught me, like something about the difficulties of wrestling, the individualization of wrestling, the hardships, the being honest with yourself, it being a one-on-one sport, and several other things like that. Why wouldn't we want those opportunities for women? You know what I mean? If we see so much value in it, why wouldn't I want my daughter to have the opportunity to have that same type of value? And, unfortunately in the past, it wasn't as readily available, but due to women like Sally Roberts, it's now becoming more commonplace, and these opportunities are going to be presented to, future generations of of women to benefit from wrestling, and my daughter's going to be one of those who, she's young enough. I mean, she's a year old. I can't imagine that it won't be like full blown by the time she's like going.
Oh yeah, dude.
And like has memory.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
like has memory, right? So she won't know a world
right.
where women's wrestling wasn't like a viable option or a priority. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's very cool.
Yep.
Next up, we got to get the NCAA on boxing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
been around
50.
forever. I wonder if that's just not going to happen.
Well, they cut it. Actually, fun fact: in like I think it was the 20s or 30s at Penn State, boxing was the #1 sport.
Yo, that's crazy.
Like by a lot. And then in the 50s, I think it stopped being an NCAA sport because there's probably a bad ref or like bad weight cutting or something, and some kid died, unfortunately. But
wrestling, we had 3 kids die in 1997. You know, that's how the weight classes changed.
And they're still running it, and now they're just like no boxing.
Yeah.
Now it's an NCAA sport, and which means like at Penn State it was a club sport, and it means like Penn State as an organization.
Maybe not enough schools
like
sponsor it in order for it to be like you need a certain like in order
right.
for like if a sport's new and it's growing, you get like a certain time to like get these programs going, because like. From your experience in college boxing, do you think there was enough schools to hold like a national championship? If it was just Division I schools, you weren't allowed any D2 or stuff like that?
I think there's probably enough for at least. Well, I'm speaking out of turn here because I don't really know like how many schools are in
I
D1.
think the barrier what they're looking for is like 70 schools.
Nowhere near that right now, from my understanding.
Yeah, I know wrestling was like, I'm not 100% sure that's the number, but I know wrestling was getting near it. We were like down to 71. And it was like, oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
All right, hey, let's close it up. Hey, this, as of recording, what is today? The 20th. It is the 20th, and I do believe that the 247 Fighting Championships annual awards, I believe the vote closes Wednesday the 22nd.
That sounds right.
That means we have 2 days left for you to get your votes in.
Well, when this comes out, which will be tomorrow morning.
You got 1 day to get your votes in.
Get on
so
it.
Make sure you get on. Go follow 247 Fighting Championships on Instagram. In their bio, you can find a link to vote on this. And we would like to tell you about a few Stout PGH fighters who are nominated. So we're going to run through the awards here. Run through even the awards that we don't have.
Yeah, we'll just hit them all. Okay,
we're going to
so
hit them all.
Number 1, Pro Fight of the Year. We got Shaka, Justin, Lucas, and Kama.
Shaka worthy. Whoa! Shaka and Karma?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you know neither of them are going to win because they're cannibalizing each other's votes. Dude, 247, that's some dirty shit right there. You're going to put them both on? You know you did them dirty. They're cannibalizing each other's votes. All their friends have to make 2 emails and each vote 1 for each. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. But they both deserve to be on there. I'm just being... hopefully everybody thought that was funny.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
Dude, here's the thing, too. And we're going to get this a lot with a lot of these organizations, or a lot of these, sort of looking for topics, categories. We like all of these people.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only that, we train with these people all the time.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So if you want to support...
Hold on a second. Okay. Run that down. Give me the list of the... What is this for?
Pro Fighter of the Year.
Pro Fighter of the Year nominees.
Shaka.
Shaka Worthy.
Justin.
Justin Patton.
Lucas.
Lucas Siebert.
Kama.
Kama Worthy.
Yep.
Not uncommon to see them all sparring together.
Yeah, dude. I remember I heard on I think one of their podcasts they were talking about like dream matchups that like can't be made because of like teams and stuff, and they're talking about like, oh, you know, like I don't know, like Lucas and Patton and you know just like stuff like that, and I was like, I see it every week. You know?
Yeah. Maybe we'll go live from LTYC's Instagram, bump up, get some followers out of it.
What happens in the gym stays in the gym, except
for when I'm trying to make some money. All right, so that's cool. So. Style PGH's own Lucas Siebert up for Pro Fighter of the Year. That'd be something if he got that off. 3-0 year. That's a great year. You know, and that's finished strong activity.
Third at Worlds.
2 finishes. Took third in the IBJJF Worlds. So a very strong 2024 for Lucas. And the other cool thing is, in 2022 he was Newcomer of the Year.
Oh yeah.
And in 2023 he was Amateur Fighter of the Year. So he could like
keep it rolling.
It's like hitting for the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, hey, let's vote for Lucas.
All right, next up, amateur fighter of the year. We've got Evan Drucci. Is it Drucci?
I'm not sure.
Whatever. Everyone knows what I'm talking
I
about.
only see it written out.
Yeah. Tyler Dibert,
Tyler Dibert. Sounds right.
Joao Martinez,
Nice.
and Drew Landefeld.
Oh, okay. That's very good. So Evan, what did I know he won the welterweight title.
So he went 2-0 with 247 and won the AMI welterweight title.
Okay, cool. And he just won the welterweight title at the last one. So I think he had, if I'm correct, his other fight is also a fight of the night nominee.
Oh, yeah,
That was the other one. That was against Dan Walters. I think that was February. All right, cool. So that's a strong year, and that's a title year. All right. Tyler Dibert, I know he went 3-0.
He's the kid we were impressed with, who we were like, oh, he must have wrestled. He had that inside trip that we talked about.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I never followed up with that, but I was like, his shorts look like Bucknell shorts. Yeah, he's a Gorilla House guy.
Oh, cool.
I'm pretty sure. Listen, I don't know what I'm talking about. But
Either
I
way.
think so. Joao. Dude, Joao had a year.
Dude, 3-1 with 247, 5-1 overall.
Dude, that's crazy. And he's on a 5-fight win streak. So he lost in February to Mike Rattani.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, let's win a bunch.
Yeah.
Ripped them off, dude. So 6 fights in a year, 5 wins. Dude, that's 6, man.
Pretty
That's
impressive.
someone who wants to be amateur fighter of the year.
And then we got Drew.
Oh, Drew. How many fights did Drew have this year?
He went 2-0. 2 finishes.
2-0. 2 finishes. Yeah, he slapped a guillotine on our dear Max. So, Drew, hate you. Yeah. So, yeah, really great year by Drew. What was it? Does it say his other fight?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we know, he just came off of a very incredible performance against our very own. Yeah. So, I'm voting for Joao.
Yeah.
5 fights, or 6 fights, 5-fight win streak. You know, that's someone grinding out there to get it. But there's a lot of solid cases, as there will be in all these categories. All right.
All right, next up, we got Fight of the Year. We've got Hoot Lee against Cowboy Eddie.
That was crazy.
That was wild, especially like being there live, the energy.
Yeah,
of it.
that was crazy.
Then we have Evan Drucci against Dan Walters.
Yep, that's the one I was talking about.
Then we got Patton against Martin Justice.
Oh, that was yeah.
Banger. And then Brogan Andres
versus Taylor Cahill.
Taylor Cahill, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Wait, was
some
that the
really.
most recent one?
Huh?
That
was
was
the one.
yeah. Okay.
Was
yeah.
it September then?
Yeah.
Well, because I wasn't there. Yeah, I was watching
September 21st.
I was on vacation.
That's right.
All right, man, dude, this. So I would say the Hoot Lee Cowboy fight was wild, but
We got to go for our man Justin.
dude, and like, I may be biased in some categories. I don't think I'm being biased here. The level of that fight with Justin,
Yeah.
I think, and like, I just think that was my favorite fight of the year. 247 favorite fight of the year.
I agree, but with that said, I am biased and vote for Justin.
There it is. There it is. I am biased, but I don't think that's me utilizing bias, right? Like, I'm going to be utilizing bias coming up. So don't worry about it.
All right, so then we got amateur newcomer of the year. Tyler Dibert.
Nice.
Noah Hermosillo.
Yeah. He was a D2 national champ.
Oh, that kid. Okay, yeah. Brian Mitchell.
Oh, Brian Mitchell.
The one and only. Malcolm Harris.
Okay.
Jack Leto.
Oh, nice.
And
Lolito.
Tarek. Is it Tarek or Tarek?
I'm going to go Tarek Smith.
Tarek Smith.
All right, cool. If that was wrong, apologies. Okay, so here goes why I'm voting for Brian Mitchell. 2-0, 1 knockout, 1 submission, both in the first round, showing some well-roundedness. You know, this is a newcomer award, so like you can't like expect these guys to have like a million fights. You know what I mean? And I do kind of feel like the newcomer award should kind of like go to like a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, where I think like, Tarek, I think he had fights in past years. This was just his debuting with 247. He had an incredible performance again against us, so he's kind of a jag for that. But yeah, Brian. What I like about Brian, you know, showing jiu-jitsu first round. He got it KO, showing that, and he had to fight off a lot of strong grappling attempts in that fight, working towards his KO. But the behind the scenes thing is his fight in which he won by KO. He had lost to Josiah, he had lost to him in jiu-jitsu tournament, right? And me being a former fighter and a competitor, that would do something to me.
Also, he needs to lose.
Yeah, he got choked unconscious.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was in a gi, so it's a little easier to get choked unconscious in a gi. But neither here nor there, he did. And he was like, yeah, like, and I remember I was like, hey, they offered you this, right? And he was like, awesome. Like, let's do it. And I was like, dude, I really admire that. Like, if you fight, you probably understand the courage that is. If you don't fight, you might not understand it. But like that takes like a different level of courage, you know.
Yep.
And he said, he was like, I know that my coaches wouldn't put me in there if they didn't think I could win. Brother, I would. I would put you in there even if I thought you were going to, like, I'll do it. Don't believe in me like that. In fact, Brian, there's going to come a time, depending on how you do in your amateur career, there's going to come a time where I actively try to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, we need to get his ass whooped.
Yep.
And
we need a test.
Yeah, test. Like, if you continue to, like, you know, like, everything within reason, right? Yeah. We want to challenge people before they go pro. But yeah, I'm voting for Brian.
I think that's my guy. A compelling choice. I am also voting for Brian. Brian's the man. All right, next up, we got knockout of the year.
Oh, we know.
Number one, we got Lucas with the flying knee to punches.
Oh, dang.
Over Jake Zach.
That was cool.
Patton's KO over Martin Justice.
Oh, yep.
Sky's KO over Fred Malander.
Oh, what? Okay.
Tom Kaiser KOs.
Oh, that elbow.
Yeah.
Oh
no, this is a knee.
Maybe I'm mistaken it. Maybe it was elbow and then okay, whatever.
It might be a different fight actually. I think he's
got two.
I think that might have been the year
last
before.
Year. Dang,
I forget. And then Zach Drzmicki with a giant KO.
Listen, it's Drizzy.
It's Drizzy,
and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right. And if I was going to be biased, I'd vote for Lucas.
Yeah.
Biased. So you know I'm not being biased.
Yeah.
But it's Drizzy. Will, credit to you getting three of your fighters on there because like. I don't do the knockouts.
Well, here's the thing.
I do the ground. I do the submissions.
You know what makes knockouts a lot easier?
The threat of a takedown.
Effective grappling.
Yeah.
You know, so we got a nice little, you know.
But there wasn't a whole lot of effective grappling in Drizzy's knockout. No. In fact, there was a whole lot of not listening.
Yeah, we were like, dude, shoot.
Boom. Okay. Yeah, I'm going Drizzy there.
Yeah, it's got to be Drizzy. Anything other than Drizzy is just incorrect. All right, sub of the year. We've got Evan Drucci subbing Dan Walters.
That was good.
Bronco Busick subbing
here Mateo we go. Gardner. I was worried that I wasn't going to have anybody. Go ahead.
Craig Perry. Have you not voted? Do you not know?
I didn't know. No, I didn't vote.
Craig Perry against Chance Grillo.
I haven't looked at these other than when they tag me on Instagram. That's all I know about.
I went through and did it real quick because last year I waited till the very end and I like almost missed it. I was like, I can't let that happen again.
So Craig Perry, that was when he rolled through and triangled Chance.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty impressive.
Alex Rios.
Boo. Boo!
Objectively good armbar, but
take that off there, you assholes.
Malcolm Harris subs Kyle Gessinger.
Yeah.
Ethan Goss subbing Chris Rollins.
Oh, we like that one.
We do like that one.
We like that one. But man,
I like a lot of these to be honest.
Wasn't Broncos that Anaconda over Mateo?
Yep.
Who was a hot
dude and
3-0 prospect?
Yes. So let me tell you about this. Okay, so one, like you said, Mateo, hot prospect, right? Like he's supposed to do big things. Like if I had to guess, I think that they probably just looked at Broncos' record and like, yeah, we'll just take this and like move on. I think he was signed to like LFA or something like that.
Yeah.
And dude, Bronco in the back. I think was this the first time I cornered him?
This was February. Wasn't this the same night Lucas fought?
Yes.
Bro, so two fights you cornered that night are a knockout of the year nominee and a sub of the year nominee. Back-to-back fights.
Yeah.
They were back-to-back fights.
So you had shot down to West Virginia or Kentucky or somewhere?
No, that was was that when he fought Mateo?
I think
he didn't fight Mateo right after Lucas fought Jake Zach?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Because then in June, in June's when he fought the big heavyweight boy.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
That's right.
Dude.
And that's when it was me and Dalton, dude.
Yeah.
So many funny corner stories from that night.
Dude, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, dude, I'm like wrapping his hands up, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come out, be like nice and disciplined with my striking, and then I'm gonna get an anaconda. And I was like,
Bro.
all right, cool, dude. But like, I mean, I've heard so many fighters tell me like exactly what they're gonna do, and it does not happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, cool. Like if it's there, take it. But like, yeah, let's don't force it or whatever. Brother, slapped it on.
Slatted that. That was cheese on a board.
Cheese on a board, son. Yeah, that was incredible. Do you have anything else to say about?
Yeah, vote for Bronco. Don't be a dummy.
Yes, vote for Bronco.
Vote for Bronco.
All right, next up, we got comeback of the year. Oops. What am I doing here?
Dude, Kim Kardashian.
Dude, this is why we need Max.
Is this comeback of the year?
Comeback of the year.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Do you know that meme? Or not
No.
that meme. It's that like it's like a blooper clip of Parks and Rec.
No.
You know Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
So he's in Parks and Rec.
Uh-huh.
And you might have to bleep this out. All right. So they're like, oh,
I know where this is going already.
talking about a comeback. He's like, Kim Kardashian. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, that's like that Eminem line.
Oh, no, I don't know it.
I'm just gonna bleep this all out. He's like,
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. That's good.
all right.
All right.
Don't forget, I gotta bleep some of that shit out. All right. Oh, comeback of the year. Okay, so we got Shaka enters 2024 on a 5-fight/match losing streak. Goes 4-1 in 2024.
Bro, how can it not be Shaka?
Then Brogan Endries.
Okay.
Weathers early storm submits Taylor Cahill in the third round.
I mean, no, I'm still going Shaka.
Nico, is it Petrides? Petrides?
I don't know. It's just the homie Nico, though.
Yeah, we should know that. We're friends with them. Bounces back from first round submission loss in June to submit Josh in round 1 at BitB 24.
I'm still on Shaka, though.
And then Ethan Goss returns from a 14-month injury layoff, submits Chris Rawlings in round 1 at BitB 25.
That was good, but like turning over a 5 competition skid to run back 4 wins, I'm going Shaka.
Me too.
Let's go.
All right, Gym of the Year. We've got Indio. They were 8-0 with 247.
2 amateur titles,
yep.
and they were out of their 8-0. They had 3 pro fights, so they were 3-0 pro.
Dude, I don't even know I have this. You remember all the numbers. As soon
Well,
as
I
it's
saw
number-based.
this one. I saw this one because I was doing math on the fights.
Oh, that's
in
right.
it, right? And so Matt Factory's 5-0, but they have 1 no contest. That was when Justin got poked in the eye. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right? Gorilla House 4-0.
Yep.
One of them's pro title defense. That's Ethan Goss
Yep.
over Chris Rawlins, and the other 3 I think are Tyler Dybert, unless one of because I know he went 3-0 this year I think, and I'm pretty sure he's Gorilla House, so that would be that, and then us 15-9. All right, so let's break those down. All right, Indio's case 8-0, so they have the most wins out of an undefeated team, right? 3-0 pro, that's very strong, and 2 amateur titles, right? Lightweight and welterweight, Hoot and Evan, right? So that's a very strong case. Matt Factory, 5-0, 1 no contest, in which a fight that was going to be probably the sickest fight in 247. Probably would have been fight of the year had that eye poke not happened. But like Justin is constantly fighting tough fights, challenging fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So Matt Factory, very strong. We'll go Gorilla House, right? Forno, dude, a pro title. Pro title. So that's heavy. That's heavy there, right? And we're probably included because of mass numbers, right? Like, you just look at the list, like 8 + 6 + 4, 10, 18. So, like, everybody else combines 18 fights. We're 24 fights. So it's probably a lot to do with, like, constantly putting the competition through, right? So that's probably why, because we don't have the O, right? All the other teams have the O. We don't have the O. So, you just kind of weigh those options and stuff like that. Some of the numbers that I crunched when looking at our 24 fights for 247, they had 69 fights, right? We were 34.7% of their fights. So that means if you watch and follow 247 Fighting Championships, 1 out of every 3 fights is one of us, right? So that's sick. I like that. I like how we have the numbers and we can get out there and we can compete a lot. That's really cool.
Are you bothered that we're not undefeated?
No, I'm not bothered. I would like to be undefeated.
Yeah, obviously.
That'd be sick. It'd be sick if we were 24-0. That'd be so sick, bro. But we're not, right? Which is fine. So I think like every gym on there has like a strong case for it. I hope we win because I like getting awards and people thinking we're cool. But I'll probably. Who do you think?
I mean, I'm an optimist. I think us.
Think us. I would say, who would you put second then? If we're first, who you put in second?
See, unlike you, I can't remember any.
I'd probably go India. I'll probably like 8-0, 2 titles, 3-0 pro.
Yeah.
Right. Like in no shade.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm like.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I'm like super tight with them. Like the Mat Factory are my favorite people, right?
Yeah,
and I love the Grill House guys too.
Yeah.
But like the Mat Factory, like distinctly are my favorite.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
right?
bro. Honestly, we might be like the Matt PGH or like the Stout Factory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Like those are the Mat Factory people are my favorite people. But I just
going
think,
by
like,
numbers, I would say us. Vote for us. And then I would probably go India next.
yeah, I think that's an incredible year. 8-0, 2 titles, and 3-0 pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. But if you like watching local fights, there's a strong vote for us because we account for 34.7 of the fights.
All right, next up, we got coach and/or trainer of the year. We got Isaac and Dempsey at the factory. We got us at Stout PGH.
Sick.
Then we got Danilo and Hewitt at Indio.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Chris Williams on his own. Yinzer Boxing, and he's 11-5, 1 no contest in 247 and 5-0 pro. And then we have Kama and Bradley at the academy, 4-1 pro.
Yeah. That's tough picking there. And do I have a towel around my neck in said photograph?
Brother.
Oh, it's not the Instagram post. Well, visualize me with a towel and vote for me. No, I'm just kidding. Like on there, I mean, that a really strong case is, again, kind of like the gym, like
It's all our friends, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
it's
like, hey,
all
right
our
on.
Yeah, right on, dude. Just pick whoever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's tight. Everybody has, everybody's a good coach. But it's not about who's a good coach. It's about who had a really good year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, also, I think, if I remember correctly from when they were discussing it, like the 247 guys were discussing it on their pod, Gym of the Year is about like accomplishments, and Coach of the Year is like
about
development. So actually, how many guys did we turn pro this year?
Oh, development-wise, we turned 5 people pro.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 people who were with us from everybody who turned pro too, like was with us from either their first fight,
Not a
third amateur, and Ramirez was
Yeah, but that's like kind of a different.
Ramirez. So I really count Ramirez strong for us, even though like he had no amateur fights with us, but I feel like we had a lot of time with Ramirez.
Yeah. Well, dude, even
made
amateur
a jump.
Before his amateur fight.
Oh yeah, we did.
I ran his
Fight sim
for his 5-rounder.
Yeah. So so we were able to turn 5 people pro, which is cool. We pumped out. I mean, how many of our people also amateurs like debuted and developed through 247? Like a lot. You know what I mean? Did we have Drizzy fought for an eliminator?
We had some 2-sport athletes.
Oh yeah, we had Muay Thai and
MMA and grappling too.
Yeah, and grappling. Yeah.
So
3. So we. Oh, did anybody who fought Muay Thai? Yeah, Joao. He fought both MMA and Muay Thai for 247. Yeah, and Jesse fought Muay Thai for 247.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sick. Is
All
that
right.
the last award?
Nope. One more. New Gym of the Year. We've got ATT Happy Valley, Gracie Baja Beaver County, Flood City Jiu Jitsu, React, and South.
React. It's React.
It's React.
It's React. It's React. 100%.
Yep. Those are our dudes.
Yeah, dude. It's my mainest man. Lance Thompson up there. Scotty Rendos. Dude, it's React. They're sick. Evan Furlong. Just he won on the most recent fight, 247 fight night. So I'm going React.
Me too.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. That's it.
That's it.
That's a wrap. All right. Hey, everybody get out there. Vote for the people that we suggest. If you have other opinions, by all means, Feel free to exercise your right to vote for whoever you want. Those are our suggestions, and we hope all of our fighters win because, it's cool. It feels good to get awards. It feels good to get recognized. But that's it for this episode, all right? Max, we miss you, and we'll see you guys next time.